What's up everyone, I'm Kona Panis, I'm here with Ace Run Pro, and I got to show them today how amazing the Star Sidewinder is. I chose the Star Destroyer and the Star Sidewinder this year for two reasons. I chose the Star Sidewinder mostly because it's a beginner-friendly disc. You can get it in lighter weights. I have these 175s because I throw a little bit harder, but if you're starting out, you can get that 165 range. I made sure to get that weight class for the more beginner group. It's a straight to stable flight on the backhand. So you can hit it hard, it's going to go straight. It might flip up if it gets beat in, but it's going to have that nice reliable fade left towards the end if you're right-handed. I personally like this disc for forehands as well, especially in the heavier plastic. It's definitely a lot more reliable, but I feel like I can put it on a little bit of an Annie and it's definitely going to come back right. It does have that reliable fade on the forehand as well. I do like it for the hardcore Annie shots for my forehands. It'll hold. If I really put it on a knife angle, it'll hold that Annie angle and hold and maybe come out a little bit. And then same for the backhand. If I put it on that huge Anheuser angle, she will come out. It's not like it's going to hold like the Roadrunner would. It's going to come out a little bit. So it's that nice in between.
Alright, here we go with the Star Sidewinder, the Kona edition. Throwing it out here on a little hyzer, and I was actually surprised that it did not flip up in accordance to that -3. I think with this one we're going to say that the numbers are slightly off from how this disc actually flies. Another hyzer there, again not flipping up, but just going out, penetrating, and then fading back. Look at it from another angle, and this one is coming straight toward the camera, moving slightly to the right, and just stays that way. It's a very nice straight flight. Here's what this disc likes to do. This is this nice turnover line, I mean an Annie line, but it goes out there, stays, holds the line good, and stays out there and finishes. Again, the disc is not, in the weight that we have it at 175, is not flying according to its numbers. That right there was an excellent full flight with a slight Annie throw. Have another Annie throw from the same position coming up, and you see it stays on Annie for the full high-speed turn, then comes down and parks the tree. I think that's what I was going for. At least that's the story I'm gonna tell now. Alright, doing a little weird forehand here on the Annie, and surprisingly, even though it says it's a Sidewinder, it comes out. Any Sidewinder that I've had has not had that same performance. Here's another Kona edition forehand that holds the line well and then actually comes out at the end. Got a little curious here, so did some other throws, and this is a thumber. And again, a full flight from the thumber with the Sidewinder. This one's a lower angle, but it still goes out, does its full flight, and comes down what will be on target, does a little dance.
Alright, here we have the Sidewinder in action in the field. So these first couple of throws are just going to be some hyzers to get a relative understanding of how this disc stands up to just a smoothly thrown hyzer. Keeping in mind there was a crosswind from right to left on this day that was helping this disc kind of get back over subtly to the left. But I have no doubt that when throwing on a nice smooth hyzer, this disc is going to maintain that angle integrity and will get back over to the left hand side maintaining that hyzer line. Trying to throw these flat here again with the wind, it's kind of getting pushed over to the left-hand side. I think with thrown with less wind, this disc is going to maintain a level, straight flight for the majority of its flight. I think this is where the disc really shines though. These subtle turnover lines, a nice sweeping left to right turnover if you're a right-hand, backhand player. It maintains its angle very nicely, never gets out of control or is in any danger of cut rolling on you. And as you can see, at the end of its flight, there's just enough stability for it to kind of flatten out, and you can see those two discs land side by side. Surprisingly, this disc holds up really well to forehands as well. You wouldn't think so by looking at the numbers, but there's definitely a workability to the disc that lets you hyzer flip them. They'll work a little bit over to the left-hand side, but there's enough reliability in this weight at 175 that it's going to finish back to the right-hand side. Just in case you're wondering who was throwing this disc. And again, I just wanted to highlight where this disc really fills a slot in the bag. It's just these right-hand subtle turnovers. I think it's a real winner when it comes to that shot.
The Kona Sidewinder is getting a rating of in the bag. This Sidewinder is more stable than any other Sidewinder that I've thrown, but it still acts like a Sidewinder. Although the stability is evident when thrown on hyzer and even flat, it still acts like a Sidewinder. So if you're talking about versatility, we're talking about a disc that can be thrown on backhand, forehand, and even overhand, and still have a reliable, predictable flight. The ease of use and being able to be used by beginners and pros makes it evident why Kona picked this disc as her signature disc, and why I rate it as in the bag.
The Kona Panis Edition Star Sidewinder is getting a final rating of in the bag. I was really pleasantly surprised by the versatility that this disc offers. Usually when you see a Sidewinder, you think it's only going to be reliable for one type of shot, but that isn't the case with this particular mold and this run. You're able to carve up anhyzer lines just as well as you're able to carve up hyzer lines, straight shots, and even forehands in the woods on different angles. I can definitely see why Kona chose this disc. Its versatility to both new players and seasoned pros makes it a no-brainer to have in the bag.
Make sure to click the link below to check them out. I want to thank my sponsors Innova Discs, Adidas Terex, and Pound Disc Golf. I also want to thank these guys, Ace Run Pro. Make sure to check out their stuff, and thank you guys for watching. Ace Run Pro, let's get excited for some disc golf.